Today, we're going to talk about a technique that sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but is actually a real learnable skill. It's an ancient Greek method that can basically give your brain a memory superpower. And believe it or not, it was born from a tragedy.
So that's the big question, right? How could a terrible disaster from thousands of years ago lead to one of the most powerful memory tools we know of today? Well, the story behind it is absolutely wild, and it all starts at a party.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're going way back to ancient Greece. There's a celebrated poet, a huge feast, and a single moment that will completely change how we understand memory.
Picture this. It's around 468 BCE. A poet named Simonides of Ceos is the guest of honor at a big, lavish banquet. He does what poets do. He performs a beautiful poem for his host. But then, just a few moments later, he gets a message that two men are waiting for him outside. So he steps out, and in that exact instant, the roof of the hall just gives way, caving in and crushing every single person still inside. The scene was just one of total devastation. The victims were so horribly mangled that their own families couldn't tell who was who. They couldn't even perform the proper burial rites. It seemed like a completely hopeless situation. But it turns out Simonides held the key.
The Roman statesman Cicero actually wrote about this. He said that Simonides just closed his eyes and replayed the scene in his mind. He didn't just see faces, he saw places. He remembered exactly where each person was sitting around the table. And by doing that, he was able to identify every single victim so their families could have closure.
And right there, in that moment of tragic insight, a revolutionary idea was born. Simonides had this incredible realization. Our brains are ridiculously good at remembering places and spaces. He'd literally stumbled upon our mind's natural GPS.
He called it the Method of Loci, which is just Latin for method of places. And the core idea is actually really simple. You take information you want to remember, and you mentally place it in specific spots within a location you know really well.
So how do you actually do it? Well, it's a simple three-step process. First, you pick a place you know like the back of your hand. Your house is a great one. Second, you take what you want to remember, let's say a grocery list, and you create these wild, vivid mental images. So you might picture a giant carton of milk blocking your front door, or imagine eggs smashed all over your favorite armchair. The weirder, the better. And third, to remember the list, you just take a mental stroll through your house and see all the crazy things you left behind.
Over the centuries, this amazing technique from ancient Greece and Rome has picked up a much cooler, more famous name, the memory palace. Now, this isn't just some dusty old historical trick. This is the exact same method that modern memory champions use to pull off some absolutely mind-blowing mental feats. Yeah, when you see those people on TV memorizing the order of like 10 shuffled decks of cards or hundreds of random numbers or lists of names and faces, they're using a memory palace. The secret isn't that they have a superhuman brain. It's that they have trained this one specific skill to an incredible degree. And get this, it's not just for champions. A study in the journal Neuron took regular people, trained them on this technique, and found they could double the number of words they could remember. And the effect lasted for months. So this really does work for pretty much everyone. So why? Why does this work so incredibly well? Well, the answer is actually baked right into our brain's wiring. We're essentially hacking a system that evolution already gave us, a system designed to remember where the good food is and where the dangerous predators are. And let's be super clear about this. This has almost nothing to do with being a genius or having a photographic memory. That's the myth. The reality is that anyone can do this because it's just about training your brain's natural, built-in talent for spatial learning and navigation. It's a skill you learn, not a gift you're born with. When you build a memory palace, you're lighting up some really important parts of your brain, areas like the hippocampus, which is crucial for memory, and the parietal lobe, which handles our sense of space. You're basically taking abstract stuff like a list of words and turning it into a journey that your brain is already an expert at navigating. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? What does it actually mean for you and me? It means that you, yes, you, have this incredibly powerful cognitive tool that you're probably not even using. Look, the bottom line is that our natural ability to remember things is just vastly underutilized. The memory palace is proof that with a little bit of practice, every single one of us can train our minds to store and recall information way more effectively than we ever imagined. So I'll leave you with this question.
Think of your mind right now, not as just a place that holds random facts, but as this huge explorable palace with endless rooms. The only question is, what are you going to store inside?
Congratulations on completing the module. Continue learning with Salyvan Academy.